Welcome back, guys. We took a little break last week, not because I wanted to, but because there's some technical difficulties that happened. But yeah, anyways, we are back, and it got a little improvement. Hopefully, this microphone helps out a lot, which we kind of needed it. That way, the static noise goes away. Another thing too is I'm happy to finally have one of my fellow friends out here, close friends, one of our own members from Culmination, one of the very first ones. By mistake, but
That's the best line ever.
but yeah, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But welcome Paul and his mistake of being in the group. But, just again, well, I guess we'll start how we usually start with everyone. Just what do you have? What do you own?
Well, my daily driver, I own two cars, a daily driver and a project car.
Mm-hmm.
Daily driver is a 2004 Nissan Maxima. Ugly as hell, piece of shit. Shitty engine, VQ, eat a lot of oil.
Yeah.
But it does the job. It gets me everywhere, point A to B. Some type of problem sometimes.
Almost every weekend.
Once a month.
Once a month.
Once a month.
But that car's running though. It's fine.
It's just common shit that happens.
Old.
Yeah.
So
It's like any other old car will have the same type of problems.
yeah.
But it runs, gets me everywhere. And project car is a 944 Porsche. It's an 84 or 85. Either or is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Completely different anyways by the end of it done it.
yeah, it'll be completely just body wise, outside body would be the only Porsche thing you're noticeable from it.
Maybe. Maybe we don't do a tubular body.
It's gonna have the same outside body.
For real?
Yeah.
I guess we can start right there with the build.
I found a wide body of it.
Nah, but you're not gonna do the tubular body like what Emmett might be proposing?
Nah, I'm just.
For real?
Yeah, and just keep it a little bit more simple and a little bit cheaper on a wallet.
Damn, I was saying it's because if so we were gonna do a 1JZ, right?
Yeah.
It went from an LS
From a 1J
to a 1J.
in a matter of a day.
Yeah, no matter what day. Which kind of surprised all of us, but it's better because you don't have to fit this giant engine in a small car.
Giant engine, heavy engine on a small car. That's
Yeah.
I had to do a lot. Probably the tubular chassis for that engine. On a 1J,
Because how
it's
much?
still heavy, lighter in a way from the LS.
How much power do you plan on making?
At the beginning, I would say just whatever comes stock. Not sure what comes stock. I would say 200, 220 on a 1J single turbo, maybe TI.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it stock for now.
You're not gonna build it?
Maybe do cams at the beginning. Just get it that little rumble and idle.
Yeah.
Besides that, stock, just to get it running, drive around, start showing it off a little bit. Fix up the body before I take it out.
Fix the rust.
Yeah. Well, the body itself doesn't have rust.
But the bottom.
Like the bottom tray, like everything else, has rust, which that has to be cut out and a new bottom panel and everything.
Yeah. Which is not much of a big deal, really.
Nah, it's just, I'll just say I'll cut two sections out of the floor panel and just weld another sheet metal and add the supporting stuff to it. It really has.
Well, I mean, it's your car, really, but it'd be so nice. Don't get me wrong, but if we can build that car right away from right now, that it's gonna be bare chassis, the engine's out, you just gotta take a couple of stuff out. But if everything is just like a bare chassis right now, you cut up everything that's bad, you support it with somewhat of a tubular body in a way, because not just cage it, that way it's structurally supported, because you're not used to power.
Nope.
Once you go power,
I would say it is gonna have a roll cage in it.
Yeah.
Probably a 6-point roll cage in it, and the front, I would say, would be the most part I will modify. Due to the bumper on how it's made,
Mhm.
I kind of have to fabricate something different so air can flow through to the radiator. Everything's blocked off.
Oh, okay.
Everything is basically a Tesla, front to front.
Yeah.
It just has certain vent holes that are not really useful for the radiator. That has to be for the 1J. So maybe the bumper, like the whole front is probably gonna be modified. Maybe do a tubular chassis from the front only. Besides that, everything else is gonna be pretty much stock.
Would you be like interested in maybe doing a type of cooling system that's like in the rear?
I was thinking about it, but
Because the rear is gonna be basically empty, right?
it's gonna be empty. But the thing is, it has glass. It's kind of like a hatchback in a
Hmm.
way. The whole back opens. I kind of don't want to cut into the fenders or the doors so air can flow in. I like that smooth loop that
Yeah.
it has.
No, from like the rear top. Like instead of putting like actual glass, put that like plexiglass thing, and we can mold something to have the cooling system in there.
Honestly, I don't think I like it.
For real?
Yeah, I like the. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the way it looks. It's different. It's not normally seen.
Yeah. No, which is true. It's not normal scene whatsoever.
I want to have it a little bit original, but in a way, you start opening doors and all this and that. People are like, "Oh shit, this is not a Porsche. It's a Frankenstein."
Yeah.
In a way, and I kind of want to have it just have people get surprised whenever they really get to see it.
Okay. My idea was that I thought you were basically gonna go like with that one car you showed, or emission. No, you sent it right on the
Which
group
one?
chat. The black one that they made like almost a track build.
Emmett
Emmett
sent
sent it.
that.
That one was.
It's
Whew.
that car. The only thing they took out was a shell, and made a tubular chassis separate, and just
Put the
put the shell in it. That's completely out of my level. I don't want that. And it's nothing but track spec car for that. On my car, I want it daily driven in a way, but also have fun, rip on it whenever I feel
You
the
can,
urge to. Yeah.
How much power can that 1J make if you do like a simple little cam and maybe have a bit stronger like rods and pistons? Not much worry about boring out the
I'm
engine.
not really sure. I would say aiming for the 300s, 340.
There you go. You said 200 and 300, not 340.
The modification you're saying.
Yeah.
I would just want to do a simple cam and just leave it at that for a certain amount of time. I get bored of it,
And build
maybe
it.
start building it.
If you're able to get, I wouldn't say. How much does that car weigh? Like 2,400 pounds.
The body itself, I would say 24.
2,400
The
pounds.
body itself.
Let's just say high end 2,700 pounds, right? Just
Wait, okay. The car with the engine, I think is 32 or 33.
what?
Yeah, with the engine. Without the engine, which the body panels are not the plastic, they're
Oh, they're
completely
metal, yeah.
everything is metal. It doesn't really take off too much, so it's heavy in a way, but power ratio to weight is gonna be almost equivalent, which is not gonna start spinning tire whenever you slam on the gas.
Yeah.
It's gonna kind of hook, but the rear is the lightest part of the car, so in a way it is gonna
It is.
start. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I was like thinking. I was like, what we can do is like have some of the components like in the bag to distribute the weight evenly. How much did that original engine weigh?
I'm not sure.
You didn't like when you took it out. You didn't really kind of feel it.
Well, I had a crane itself, which I really didn't lift it up at all.
It'd be interesting to kind of figure out how much if it's like the similar weight and like similar components they're gonna go in it. If it weighs almost the same, then it's basically the same thing. Well, like
Same thing.
what I'm trying to say is like if you put on a 3,200 pound car, if you put 350 horsepower, that's like a pretty good number. That's a really like fun number.
It's a fun number, and the engine that's gonna be thrown in is more reliable, a little bit cheaper in parts than the Porsche itself. I was already building the Porsche in a way. I was buying the pulleys, the serpentine belts, all that. I ended up spending around 1,500 on just parts, like miscellaneous parts, like very little parts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of expensive. I'm looking around places where it's cheaper. I find the cheapest one. Either way, it still came out being expensive.
Would you say for the LS, the cam and everything like that was like $2,500, but that was like a fully built,
Almost,
all the components.
almost pushing. I'll say 450 to 500 horsepower at once, just thrown in. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit too much out of my comfort zone from what I'm driving now. As a front wheel, I think it makes 205 horsepower stock. Yeah.
To the wheel?
To a wheel is like 190 something.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Did I see the video?
But the weight that it has,
Yeah, it's
which
fat.
it's a sedan, it's heavy and slow. That's what I'm saying. Out of my comfort zone from how fast it is, how grippy it is, and it's a front wheel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just way too much horsepower for me.
Which is
at the
true.
start.
And that's how a lot of these people end up crashing their
Yeah.
cars, just because they go from having, not to be generalizing people, but Honda Civics or, it's like that's what they get when they're teens, and now they're like 25, 26, got a good job, and they immediately go for that
That
fast
big horsepower.
400, 500 horsepower, but they're not used to that power.
Yeah, that's one reason. LS and the 1J, similar price range, but I wanted something different. And LS, some small modifications can make big horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna start spending more on modifications on it. I was gonna go up and up and up on horsepower, which is something I didn't want. 1J is almost the same thing, but you could do a lot more modifications and not make too much horsepower all at once.
Which is funny because a lot of people will want less modifications for more power.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, I can do more modifications.
Yeah.
And don't give me that much
And
power.
The way I want it is like, if I'm gonna spend money in it, might as well spend money that's completely different. I have not seen a Porsche with a 1J at all. Some type of horsepower when built, or big horsepower when built, and maybe future upgrade turbos or something.
Would you like to go single or twin
I would like twin
for daily driving?
for daily driving, just for pleasure.
Mm.
But I would say single turbo is better. The
Really?
way I want it, yeah. The way I want it is like daily driven. You don't have to be pushing too much boost. It's like just cruise around. Have it easy driving
Yeah.
around. Twin turbo, you can put more boost. Like you can put more stress on the block,
Mm-hmm.
which the block can take it easily. But I just want to cruise around, right?
Yeah.
And then I think you're able to have stages, kind of like in LS. You could have what you call it? It's kind of like a menu. Like you choose this stage and have a certain amount of power, and then go to another stage, have a certain amount of power within seconds, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I just really, for the most part, I just want to have a daily drivable Porsche 1J.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty true. And I've
and
only
that way
seen
I
like
really
two or
need
three.
that twin turbo.
Yeah, and like I've only seen 2 or 3 to the point where you have one. It's so
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. And with the single, you go way bigger turbo. And with the turbo, twin turbo, the same size, it takes a lot of space. And I don't have a lot of space. I had to cut into
The
the fender and all that. And I kind of want to reduce that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut as less as possible with fitting something I really like. Unless I really was gonna cut into the firewall and everything, it was not gonna fit at all.
The front bumper had to definitely get moved like forward.
Yeah.
Which is a smart kind of, even though the 1J is almost like lengthwise the same thing. However, you got the side to put everything you need in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the cutting in front is not that much of a deal. Cutting to the side where the fender's at, basically how the car is really like narrow.
I would say for me it would be easy. For that car, it would be easier cutting to the sides than the front.
For real?
Yeah.
But it's like,
if you cut to the front, you have to custom make fenders. The fenders will not fit. They're gonna be smaller than what originally if you cut to the front.
yeah.
You have to push everything forward, or cut the whole firewall and push the engine in and leave the front like that.
I was assuming because like you can just, so the only thing that would be really like kind of messed up to cut will be the front bash bar and the front actual support. We could just, instead of making it like this, we could have made it
Curvy.
like, yeah, curve around instead of going straight across. And then like basically for the fenders,
Just do more of that.
you'll cut the fenders and then now you have that, and like you said, it's just straight metal thing. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Like basically some of the support of the car comes from the actual side
The fender,
inner fender.
Yeah.
If you cut that inner
The
fender,
wheel well.
yeah, and if you cut that inner like wheel well, then you kind of lose a little bit of rigidity too.
Which I've done measurements. I really don't have to cut a lot on the fender, on the wheel well.
I hope
It's-
nothing.
I'm gonna have to cut a little bit because of the turbo. I can always buy some other manifold so I can bring the turbo up and stuff like around the side.
Hmm.
But which thinking about it, I may do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, wait, but you have like Emmett and you basically can fabricate y'all's own stuff. It might take a little bit of time, but maybe in the long run it's like cheaper because you won't have to go buy this custom crazy looking manifold.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can move it, maybe you can move the turbo like in front on the side. That, I mean, I'm assuming there's quite a little space. Oh wait, never mind. You got those lights.
Pop up.
Yeah,
I
the
want to keep
motors
those.
are there. Yeah, the motors are there, so it'd be kind of hard to do anything.
Yeah, everything's gonna be not the same at all in the engine bay. But maybe I would have to cut into the hood if I make the manifold, make them a custom manifold so I can have the turbo on top instead of on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to cut into on the hood.
Give it a little glass scoop that way people can see what's inside.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. You seen that Corvette that was at Aubrey there? The Cars and Coffee a couple months ago. There's a Corvette that had like the supercharger on top. Had a glass. It was actual like, it was something else. It wasn't just glass. So some kind of plexiglass that was able to sustain like the heat. And it was right in the middle and it went over it. And the thing was that it looked so clean even with that glass. You know, it was bolted all around, but it still clean. You could see the supercharger. But the car itself looked like a show car, even though you were showing the whole piece. That'd be pretty cool too. If you could just show the turbo on top.
Well, I really don't even have everything's like.
Go ahead, just go ahead.
I would have so people would have a list on what they really have to do to the car, which I don't have a list. I'm just doing the process as it goes and not really informing myself what has to be done. Am I gonna have to do this? Am I really gonna like it? I'm just going as the process goes along. So
Oh my boy, you in a fucking world of trouble right there. You do that.
that's kind of one thing I'm doing bad. I should look into how the engine's gonna be placed. Am I gonna be able to have the turbo on top without cutting the?
We definitely need to take like a weekend and really measure out everything and kind of like just build some weird even paper or cardboard kind of like sizes of stuff and just start putting things around and see.
Well, the thing is, the engine is gonna be bought next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I have a, it's not an engine hoist, but I can hoist up well, from that car, the engine has to be put from bottom to top instead of removing it from the top. So I have to remove all the suspension, like the suspension component from the bottom.
Yeah.
It has to be completely removed so I can put it in the engine. All I'm gonna need is some type of rig so I can lift up the body itself and place it down. Because I don't have a lift.
It's called 2 forklifts.
I don't have 2 forklifts.
Oh man, that's tricky then.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So maybe next week I'm gonna
If anyone wants to kind of sponsor a lift, help us out for a little bit, we can hook you up too.
At least a 2 post.
Just something. Well, for one day, just let us put the engine in.
Yeah. I don't think one day would do. We'll probably need a couple of days.
24 hours in one day. We're gonna work all 24 hours.
Shit.
I didn't know you have to put the engine from the bottom.
Yeah. The top is very little space. The engine will not go in.
Why the fuck are you building this car, man? There's a money pit right there. I'm joking.
Think about it. This is the way I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna go spend money on a brand new car that I have a budget for, and I really don't like that car. I'm gonna go spend money on the Porsche, which I'm in love. I'll throw kind of my dream engine into it, so like a semi-new car versus that new car which I don't like.
Yeah. And
which one would you invest more?
Yeah, it's true because it's like people sometimes put it that, oh, but you don't have. I think the biggest thing is now that people are kind of saying new cars are better than old cars, just like Bluetooth or powered windows or stuff like that. But those kind of things in the long run,
it's just stuff that you really want.
Yeah.
Which in my case, not even in the summer, I use AC a lot.
Yeah,
I was at my windows
fucking
down.
crazy.
I like enjoying the air just blowing on your face when you're driving.
The 105-degree air.
I sweat a lot, so I can't really avoid it.
Yeah.
It's like if I sweat, might as well sweat a lot and just change the shirt or something. And yeah, I just like having my windows down.
Yeah, and then for that car, when you build it, I know for sure the build is not gonna be let me just find the cheapest parts and let me just do it as quick as possible, because I know you're doing everything very legit to the point where that body itself is gonna be very rigid. The engine's gonna be, if this man can keep a 250 mile like maximal working like non-stop, I'm assuming you'll be able to keep a newer engine, not newer, but like better kept and less mile, like 1JZ like kept. You'll have a better than a new car.
Yeah.
So, and with the whole classic look of a Porsche, and
it just gonna be breaking necks.
Hell yeah, that's for sure. I've only seen 3 944s in person, and then 2 of them are always together at Cars and Coffee, and then one of them I just saw.
There's a white one, with some blue stripes.
And that gray one.
Yeah, those are the only ones I've seen in person. The other one I've kind of seen in person, I just saw it drive by in Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
It was a red, like a bright red, kind of like a red I like. I saw it, and I'm like, I need to fix mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I started. Now I remember, I did see a 944 that he bought cheaper than my car, but that car is running, good condition, very low miles, interior is pristine. He bought it for. I started speaking with him. He said.
Oh, the guy with the has a dad who used to work in the as a
no. This is before I even knew you. Or like Culmination.
Yeah.
I was in that hood rat.
Oh, you're a
car. I was in that hood rat car scene when our brother started getting into a car scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, that car's really nice. So I went to go talk to him. He's like, I asked him, how many miles does it have? He said 25K. I'm like, how much you pay for it? 3K. I'm like, there's no way. I paid 4K. Well, not me. My dad bought it for him, but he was not doing anything to it. So I like, can I have it? And that was in the age when I was like 14, 15. He's like, yeah, sure, keep it. didn't do nothing to it until until my senior year in high school.
Yeah.
I started kind of working on it, not knowing nothing about cars. But yeah. And I asked this dude, where you bought it from? It's like, just some random guy. I'm like, man, I need to get my car done. Like, you have a Porsche? Yeah. And then kept on talking. I told him the price and the mileage I got mine for. Like, you got ripped off. So I started going online, seeing all these cars, how much for sale, brand new, like semi brand new, kind of collectors and all that. So I was looking at collector cars, I was looking at driven cars and all that, and comparing prices. I'm like, he did pay a lot for that car, for the miles that it has.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
how many miles does it have?
It has 92K.
Okay.
Original miles on the body and engine, but due to it's been sitting for quite, I'll say 12 years, just being neglected.
Those
it wasn't seized. Luckily, it wasn't seized. I got it running. I changed the oil quick. I changed the oil, spark plugs, and the coil packs. I changed all that. And once I changed that, I started turning the engine myself manually to see if it was actually seized. It wasn't. So I have a chance with this car. I went to go buy a battery, put it in, cranked it up, and it turned on immediately. I'm like, it's just my luck, or?
What, you were like, oh shit, boy,
yeah.
I'm fucking high school senior with a Porsche.
Yeah. Then I started looking around the engine bay and all that. I saw water dripping. So okay, I'm gonna change the water pump. I changed the water pump. I looked for it, and I went to O'Reilly and bought it for $250, the water pump itself. And then the gasket was another $50. So I'm like, this is kind of expensive, but alright, I'm gonna buy it. I paid for it, went, installed it and everything, turned it on, was working. Nowhere, it stopped. And then I soon found out it was the timing. For some reason, the timing was switched off, which the water pump, it has two serpentine belts. One is for water pump, power steering, and AC, kind of like a normal car, which is in front of the timing belt.
Yeah.
So they're right behind each other, and I switched them out and all that. I'm like, I did not touch the timing belt one at all, and I started looking around. I literally did YouTube mechanic at that point. I placed the engine top dead center. I took off the belt and started moving around. It has lines where they're supposed to go. And the engine's staying at the top dead center. You move around the timing, the pulleys.
Yeah.
So it has a notch on the block and the pulley. So you just match it up there and there, put on the timing belt back on, and it should be good, due to what I've researched. And I put everything back together, I cranked it up, it turned back on, it was running smooth and everything. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with this car. I still need insurance, registration, and all that. I need to buy the tags. So I'm gonna leave it there for quite a bit. I don't have the money now, and I don't have a driver's license. And that's where at point I got the Maxima. Started driving around with that. I didn't like it at all, and I just left the Porsche there, sitting. And then I started getting into the car scene. I started seeing cars and this and that. So I'm like, okay. I started throwing my money into the Maxima instead of the Porsche that I really wanted. That's where all my money went. And just started hanging around doing her rat shit.
Yeah.
And buddy Adolfo started taking me to these IFO on the time that was called Royal Purple Raceway.
Yeah.
And I saw a 944 there. I'm like, this is another 944. It's a black one. completely original, or OEM wheels, paint, everything. It was perfect condition. I'm like, I need to get my car running again. And at that point, I I figured out it wasn't even the timing belt and all that. It was something dealing with the wiring harness itself. And I started switching out relays, putting in new ones and all that. It still didn't run. And my dad, he used to work on cars and all that. He got the car, the engine itself to run, took out the like unnecessary wiring, and got the engine running. Like, it's not the engine, it has to be something with the wiring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I kept on searching around. I'm like, I give up on this car. Parts are too expensive. Not easy to find. When you find them, takes a month and a half to get here. I'm like, I like this car, but I think I need another engine. That's where I left it, neglected it for another year and a half, and I just put more money into Maxima. I found y'all, and that's where I started putting more money into the Maxima.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I don't like this car.
I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. And then that's when I started knowing him a little bit more, you know, so I bought the engines, fabrication, and all that. He's like, why don't you just swap it? I'm like, I thought about it, but I don't know how. It's like, I'll help you. Okay. What do you recommend? It's like, do simple LS. I'm like, okay. And that's where my LS fanboy came in. I'm like, LS the world, LS this, LS that. I'm like, man, I started listening to Camp LS and all that.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, people would not expect that small ass car to have a cam like that, sounding that big of a rumble. Yeah. I'm like, I want that. That's a perfect tone for that car. It's just not perfect, but like it throws you off for that car. And then I'm like, I got more into the JDM world. I'm like, I like the turbo noise and all that. It's just player. I'm like, I want a 1J. And then I'm like, kept on looking for parts for the LS, how to build it. I need motor mounts. Well, they have universal mounts. And you just drill holes into wherever the stock motor mounts for the reservoir.
Yeah.
Or just make custom plates and just put those in there. I'm like, this costs this much. And then he's like, why don't you go JDM or something like that? I forgot how he said it. I really don't even know how I got into the 1J. And
Yeah,
like,
it goes out of nowhere.
yeah. I'm like, and one day I just changed my mind, like, 1J it is. It just completely changed my route completely. And I started kind of searching for parts. I'm like, it's the same amount of similar price range that you spend, but it's like something that no one really does often on a Porsche. Because I've seen a LS swap Porsche before too. Not in person, but on YouTube. 3. I've seen 3. One is like really stands out kind of in a way. The other one's like specific track build. And the other one was kind of like a rally spec car LS.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
LS.
different.
Yeah. I'm like, LS? Nah. 1J? Yeah. And in a matter of a day, it switched.
You know, be more crazy? A rotary.
Weren't you talking about it? Getting by that other Porsche.
That dude was selling that one for. If you're saying that you got ripped off $4,000, that dude was selling it for $5,000.
Did not have a
differential.
Didn't have a differential. Didn't have the axles.
Didn't even run.
Didn't even run.
And it was on the floor.
Yeah, it was completely on the floor. So
Like
I'm pretty sure the whole bottom was rusted. And I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
The dude was gonna sell it. He sold it to a junker for $500. I'm like, dude, you could have had someone else pay
Maybe
maximum
$100 more.
Yeah.
I was willing to pay $500 easily right there in the spot.
Yeah, and he sent it. I think it was $300, $500, somewhere around there. I'm like, and you just want to get the price out of the wheels, and you sold the wheels to a junkyard for that price, kind of like a stupid move, right?
Yeah. Whatever. We could have been 944 buddies with your, at the time, LS and my rotary, but
Besides winter.
those 944s are starting to become a little more popular.
Yeah.
It's always like that, of course, with any car, like, you know,
It just out of nowhere come up.
yeah, because of the, like, you know, back then, like the 240s. 4 years ago, when did you ever hear that the A86 was a thing? You know, until like 2 years in that the new 86 came out, and now those A86 are worth $7,000 for like a stock body. Like, you know, same thing with the 944. I'm assuming $2,000 is a lot for a running engine. Little by little, they're just gonna keep on going up
in price. 'Cause that's kind of one reason I don't want to sell mine right now.
Oh,
Just
hell
maybe
no.
in the future it goes way up. And like, I have this engine, fully running, perfect condition. The engine's in perfect condition.
Yeah. I'm assuming they will, cause so let's say like you bring your car, you know, and like I like them a lot. I one day will love to buy one, you know, and then let's say I buy one, and then the people that we talk to, you know, little by little the word's gonna start getting out that these cars are really cheap. They're cheap.
Yeah.
For being a
People are
Porsche,
just- yeah.
it's cheap.
People are gonna start buying them more and more and more, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna be. I think the 240 started with the drifting world.
Yeah, it really.
People were just because there were cheap parts, cheap bodies, cheap everything.
And they work fine.
Yeah, and the engines were good.
Yeah.
And people just like, you get this, it's cheap, to start getting into the drifting world. People bought it more and more, and just kept on expanding to drifting, to stands, to just daily driven, all that. That's why they got a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the shit, imagine we hit, like I said earlier, imagine we hit up like White Line or No Fortunatos and tell them, hey, yo, what's up, man? Make some coilovers for these things and put you out there or something, you know.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool to have like companies like that work for those kind of cars and get it out there.
That's another thing. Custom stuff for the 944, they're not really available at the moment because they're not really
Popular.
Yeah. So it's
Or
kinda
not popular enough to make.
like enough amount of this.
Yeah. Or
for
money
them,
really.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of research that goes into making any kind of product, and those are hours not paid
So
by
far,
consumers.
I found coilovers for 944, but they're like stupid expensive. They're like 3,500.
What?
For the Porsche? I'm like, and I'm thinking about just custom, like, where do the shocks go on a car?
Mm-hmm.
Just make a plate and drill the holes from a different car, from different shocks for other car like coilovers. So I'm thinking about just searching up the suspension rate I like, going with a certain type of car, and just get those coilovers, kind of like the similar size coilovers for that car, and just throw it in, make
That-
custom brackets.
That can also work. It's just the only thing is that you don't want to really rig it kind of bad because that suspension it's I've seen like those like mechanic memes or whatever there is, like people rigging up their suspension to fit certain types of like they'll buy a suspension for $350 and put it on this other vehicle, they rig it up, and then next thing you know it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like super sketchy. If we can hit up companies and they'll be interested in maybe working with us on trying to build something, like even Tane or like, you know,
Tane's a
Fortunato.
good brand. I don't know why people.
I don't know if people hate on it.
Yeah,
It's like,
they're good.
they have high level like coilovers, except that, you know, the ones that most people buy are cheaper, which is of course more people are gonna buy cheaper ones because not everyone has money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
Me, I didn't even get coilovers. I got lower springs.
or the lower springs. Yeah, but it's a daily maximum. You don't need some crazy freaking suspension. Honestly, dude, when people make fun of like, oh, you got you didn't get coilovers, you got bags, or you got lowering springs, like, oh, that's bad. I was like, when the fuck are you gonna be tracking your car?
Yeah, it's like it's all depending on what the car's meant to.
Or what you meant to build it for.
Yeah, it's like for me, I'm gonna have to get coilovers because bags don't work for track.
Yeah.
So I'm like, one bag.
Hey, they do. Airlift.
They're expensive.
I know, but they do work.
They
Fuck all the haters that say they don't work. They do work.
How long they're gonna last? That's another thing, right?
Hey, you want to look cool and still track a car?
Yeah.
But they are like $5,000-$6,000. They're depending on the type of car, but they're up there. They're for sure up there.
I was thinking about making my own custom airbag suspension.
I know a dude that used to do it. Like, he did that, but they're not. I can say, you don't want to be driving the car around too much. You could do it, but you definitely don't want to be driving the car too much. Like, you'll be on the risk of saying, like, nah, I don't want to drive my car because then this could happen. And then by then, it doesn't become fun to drive a car anymore. You're always at the edge of, like, it might break.
Yeah, it might break. Am I going to be stranded somewhere? Like random shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's always on people's preference on what they're using their car for.
Yeah.
People that barely get into the car scene, those other ones are kind of just throwing shit around. Like, oh, coilovers don't work just because they've seen their buddies using coilovers only instead of bags.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's where all that starts from, I guess, in a way.
It's just the hate that the hate that it comes. Well, the thing I hate the most is when people are saying that the more expensive is the better.
In a way, yes. In a way, no.
Yes, in a way, yes. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're not gonna be buying no $3,000 coilovers
and not use it,
and go park your car at a car show and say, I got these $3,000 coilovers. Now you're just flexing money. It was like, if you really want to flex money, I might as well just pull my wallet out and say, here's my $3,000. I still have this money. Your coilovers are worth less than what you got them for. Stuff like if you're just gonna, like you said, if you're just gonna go park a car and be like, looking good, lowering springs is good enough.
Lowering spring is good enough, or bags if you really want to go that extra length of just airing out in front of everybody.
And if you do get coilovers that you can kind of adjust, like, don't get some freaking expensive ones. You don't need no $1,000 coilovers.
That's where tank coilovers come in.
Yeah, and then they're
very
good.
Cheap and good.
Yeah, it's like some people complain about the Tanes or like the cheaper ones are like, you can't really do spirited driving. You can't really. I was like, but they're not meant for that. They're meant to lower your car slightly and have a bit more stiffness, a little bit more stiffness. They're not meant to go.
Even though they're kind of,
they're up there.
They're up there with stiffness.
Yeah.
It completely changes the feel for the car whenever you're driving around.
Yeah, it's that whole hate about. It's funny to joke around, but some people are very serious about that. Where they'll tell you is like, oh, fuck your bags for groceries, or coilovers are for like the poor people. That whole joke that came around, and it just there's so much variation. Like, bags can be cheap bags you can get and they suck, or some coilovers are much more expensive than the bags that are supposed to be expensive, right? So it's just kind of like, really at the end of the day, it's just like
what's the car meant for?
Yeah, whatever you want to. But
which I do want to go bags,
which would be nice. It'd be pretty cool.
Cause I really don't go track spec a lot, but I think I prefer going coilovers.
For real?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can also start off with let's say you start off your car. You usually just like daily. You're just gonna really just want to enjoy the car, as a visual look and a daily driven kind of feel.
That's kind of my perspective. I really don't like driving the crap out of cars, which I would do just to have fun. But I prefer being parked, walking around, seeing cars, and then people enjoying other people's cars. That's kind of like my side of the car scene. But I do enjoy the tracking, the drifting, and all that in cars. I mean,
but let's say for you right now, you're gonna do that. You should just get coils, just enough to be good coils, of course. Don't just cheap out. And then later on, you can kind of decide where the two. You know what? I like putting
this
more power
more than this.
You know, then if you more power, then you can put more better, like stiffer coils, or if you're like, you know what, this is good enough horsepower. I got some extra money. I like the way this looks. I'm just gonna go buy some, you know, good bags that make it look really cool. Like not stanzy, like not that whole negative camera stuff, but like, you know, make it look clean, make it hit the floor. You know, it's like, cause it's a good start to just get something kind of cheap, not cheap out and
buy the cheapest shit.
yeah, but like something not expensive but good brand, so just like Tame, or some levels of Tame. So, but let's take just like a small little break. That way I can change out the battery. You know, we should come back. To the people viewing this, will probably just be like a 5-second break. But yeah. Alright, so took a little break just to kind of change out the battery that we needed to. During the little break, we did talk about potentially talking on how Paul was basically a mistake to come into the group. So a little more insight on kind of how Culmination is or who we are. We are fixing to post a website soon to kind of have like, you know, our info and stuff like that. If people are interested, I'll have everyone who is in the group or in the actual club, which I really don't like calling it a club, because we're all like really good friends. So whatever that website's gonna come up, and I'll just have like everyone who he is, who they are, what they own, and you know, a little inside thing, and then you know the dates that they kind of started, you know, use air quotations, because
in my case.
yeah, because at first, yes, we were like somewhat looking for people. Not really, because we weren't gonna put it out there that we were recruiting people, because we didn't want to get some just, you know, people that were wanting to be in the club. Like the way we did it is like people who hanged out with us, and we're still doing it. Someone like that. If you want to be part of our little group, you know, we're not a club who's like just sign up and you're a part of us. You know, you have to basically get to know us. We have to get to know you. If we think you're pretty cool, then it's not even a, hey, do you want to be part of the club? It's more of a, you're going to be part of it.
Not even about the cars, more about the personality that you are.
More about the personality and stuff. And when we started off, I think you weren't supposed to be, but it was you, Adolfo, and who else was out there? I think it was you and Adolfo only. So Adolfo, no, Brian wasn't there. Was he? Yeah, he was there. He was
there at the same time.
Yeah, so y'all came out to one of our cruises that we had, our very first 610 cruise, we called it. Y'all came out, which surprisingly, you in a Maxima, Adolfo in a Sentra.
It wasn't a Maxima. It was my Beaner. It was
the truck.
Yeah, it was my Beaner's, like Beaner beginning, like where I started getting
into. Yeah, the truck. It was a red truck. It was that red lifted truck, and then it was Brian in the van.
Yeah.
So there was a GTR, there's some good Mustangs and stuff like that, and these really higher horsepower cars.
High-end luxury ones.
Yeah, higher. Like it was one of our first cruises. Pretty cool how they brought out. We went around 610. We did a couple loops. With the way we did it, it's kind of like, you know, 610. We made a figure 8. And it was only you, Brian, and a couple other people that still kept up with us. Surprisingly, like the slower vehicles are the ones that kept up. And then we ended up going to that one meet in Gessner or somewhere around there, which is, I think at the time that was that Suicide Squad, I think, or
I have no idea.
Whatever. What is the other team thing? We went to a meet basically at the end. It was a pretty good meet that we all decided to go to, and y'all were there, and we were like, okay, cool, we like y'all, you know. Y'all came and hang out with us, and we had another meet, that T-Presso meet, and that's when we asked y'all. It was only
You asked 2 people.
Yeah, I asked 2 people, and
I was just there.
And Paul was there.
You didn't, like, this is the thing. You didn't specify who you were talking to. You just walked up like, hey, y'all are cool, and this and that. Kept on talking like, would y'all be interested in joining the crew and all this? But like at that time, you weren't even talking to a certain person. You're kind of talking openly.
Because it was Adolfo and Brian were like kind of right next to each other, and you were kind of sitting more towards the back. So and at the time, I didn't even know who the hell Paul was, like, because it was usually just like Adolfo and Brian that we talked to the most. When I say we, as in like me and two other people who started the actual club. As of right now, it's only me who basically leads it on. So that's what I mean by we. It was like me and two other people. Had the whole club going, and then we decided that it was cool to have Rodolfo and Brian involved. Brian in the back, Paul in the background was like, I like to. And we didn't want to be really an asshole and be like...
It was funny because I was the first one to jump up, like,
I want to. That's pretty cool. And we left. Yeah, they said all three of y'all were like the three people who said like the very, very first people. There was like 3 other people that we wanted to ask, but they weren't there at the time. And we went back to where we're at, and me and the 2 guys were kind of like, wait, we don't even know who this guy is, and dude, I don't and one of the guys was basically saying is like, yeah, and he drives like, what does he even drive? Like, we don't even know what he drives, and I was kind of like, you know what, just fuck it, like who cares? Like he seems pretty cool too. We're not gonna tell him no. And then here comes that basically Paul is one of the guys who's helped me a lot in growing the club. So the guy, there goes to show it to you that we never even wanted to ask him. We didn't know who he was. At the time, we kind of was going to let him know later on. It was like, hey, we didn't mean to bring you in the club. And, he was supposed to be like a guy who we didn't know, now to be the number kind of one guy to help out the most. And no one get booty hurt. Alright. No one get booty hurt. I'm talking to people like in the club, like, don't get all hurt. It's y'all do help. I'm just saying, like, they ain't gonna put me on blast now, man.
I ain't say shit.
But I just kind of wanted to put that out to that kind of story, how when you don't be looking at people thinking that they might be one of the
you just go based off what they drive.
Yeah, don't go based off what they drive or how they look like, because it really does come down to, if you want to have it's like, if for us, like, the club became a really group of friends. We've been knowing each other for a year, like most of us, because we all kind of joined in around the same month. Except Uriel. Uriel came in a little later on, like a couple months ago, but even then, like, see how it is, we're all really cool with each other and stuff, and the club became like a really good friendship with everyone. So I don't know what you want to put your part in, as in what you felt when I said that.
Well, since the beginning, I actually thought, like, you're literally talking to us 3, because I was always there with Adolfo. And when those T-Presos started happening, the Maxima was out of commission. The truck had blown up, the engine, and rebuilt it within those months. So, like, the first day from the 610, you were talking to us like, yeah, you seem pretty cool, yeah, just chilling, all this and that. I'm like, okay, he's getting to know us, right? And then Adolfo, like, the guy from high school that I used to bully, now he's like the best friend I have. Like,
yeah, you fucked up for that. He told me he used to bully him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a ricer.
That's what everybody used to say in high school.
For real?
Yeah.
It's in the high school he was a ricer?
Yes. With the Sentra.
Oh my god.
With the Sentra. And before the Sentra, he had a Corolla. He used to do the stupidest shit ever to it. Just drive the crap out of it. Drive the engine with the oil cap open. Just...
Why?
Each literally forgot it. Close it. Put the cap back on. Just drove it. Like, he got to school like shit. Because we had automotives together. Like, man, I left the cap open. He opened the hood. The whole engine bay was covered with nothing but oil. I'm like, how's that car still running? You're running no oil.
Corolla.
Yeah.
They're undestructible.
Yeah. Their engine's pretty good.
That is, what the fuck. Anyways, continue on.
So, me and him were like always there. just going these crazy takeovers and all that.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like my right hand basically. It's like my dude.
Your boyfriend.
Nah.
I thought you were kind of gay or something. On the real, like y'all were always together and pretty cool with each other. I was like, alright, they're cool friends, and I was like, I might be gay. I'm joking.
Nah, it's like just that guy that I used to bully, but at the end of in our senior year or sophomore, we started becoming like friends, right?
Once he got big.
Yeah, he's like,
And then
he
he
started
more.
he started like speaking up for himself a little bit more. It's like, I thought he was gonna break one day. So it's like, yeah, like you're pretty cool. So we stuck like, cause of automotive, that's I guess that's what built our friendship from that class. So like since then we're like pretty close. So that's cause we were close like from like our friendship and the way you were talking to us, like the three of us, like Brian, Adolfo, and me. Now like you're literally talking just to Brian and Adolfo. Like I was there, so like he's probably talking to us three or me. Like that's pretty cool. Like thank you. Like y'all wanna be part of it? Like yeah. It's like it's just I don't know. It's just like it came up.
That boy got giddy.
Yeah, it's like I got so hyped up. Like yeah, like first time ever someone ever asked me.
Yeah.
Be part of the crew or something like that. And since high school, I wanted to be part of something. I'm like, yeah. And I was the first one to speak up. And ever since, Adolfo was like, I don't think they met you actually. Like, I don't think so either. I don't even drive a car. I don't know why they asked me. Like, I don't even think they were talking to you. I'm like, shit, for real. And then I guess a month passed, and you had added him to a group chat, and then he sent me a screenshot of it, of something, a meme that y'all sent. I'm like, oh shit, that was funny. Like, what's the crew? I'm like, he's like, oh, he must not have added you or something. I'm like, oh, I guess it don't really matter, right? And then a few hours passed. I guess he asked you or something. Like, is he part of the crew or not? Or should I tell him? And I guess like, hey. Then you started speaking to me and all that, like texting me and all that.
Cause I didn't have your info. Like I legit did not have any info like of you.
Bro?
Yes. Like,
even after you told me, hey, text me what car you were driving that day from 6 Acres.
yeah, but that was just because we wanted to like tag people and stuff like that. But I still like never really got the info down. You know, like when I told Adolfo, I was like, hey, what's like, I in my mind I was really shy and like kind of like embarrassed to be like, oh hey, by the way, what's his name? You know, it's kind of dumb. You know, so yeah, that day happened, the whole night happened. We were like, well, we didn't mean him, but then we were like, dude, he seems chill. Just like, don't worry about it. So like, let's say a whole month passed, and then we decided to be, because it went from me communicating between Adolfo and Brian and stuff like that, and then sometimes we didn't really need a group chat. And after a while, I was like, you know what, we need a group chat. So I was still embarrassed and shy to be like,
nah, I wasn't trying to speak to you. Like,
I didn't want to like, hey, what's your name and what's your Instagram? So, you know, it's kind of dumb too. Like, how's this dude supposed to be in the group? And
oh yeah,
we don't even know him. So yeah, then we added you. What was your thoughts when you were like, hey, I finally got added?
I was like, cause I thought back to that day. I'm like, was he really speaking to me, or was I just being in there and like in their conversation that they were having? I was just listening and I jumped up and all that. I got excited. But then you like kept on talking. Like, I was a mistake. Like a month later, I was like, this was a mistake of me being here. And
I feel bad.
nah, but like y'all were talking to me like friends, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, they're cool though. And then
Cool moving back because you can be off focus, man.
After that, I'm like, man, I guess I'm part of the crew by force of me. But in a way, I was trying to help out the crew too, in a way. I just want to do something after high school.
Yeah.
It's like just being home alone, just like doing what is not even productive at all.
Yeah.
Like getting into the car scene, I started knowing more about cars. That's why I started knowing more about engines and all that, how they work. Because in high school, all I ever did was just break jobs. That's all. That's
Break jobs.
Yeah. We our auto mechanic teacher, because I had automotive. He'll bring in cars from teachers and all that.
Oh, and that's how you can make
Yeah,
money.
and me and Rodolfo were his main guys to work on cars because everybody else was lazy.
Mm.
And I didn't know about cars, but he was there to help out, right? So I like, I kind of like this. So I started working more and more and more, and me and Rodolfo became these like top guys, work on cars for him that he brings in. And that's how our friendship got. Yeah, so our friend was talking about.
You kind of got like it felt like it was forced and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then but you wanted to help out.
Yeah, so like, then you kept on making these T-presso meets and all that. You kept on talking about what you gotta do, this and that. And then that's where I found like, hey, I do this and that. And you were like, oh shit, for real?
I found out you had a Porsche. I was like, I'm gonna use this, man. Get my club going up, you know. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Actually, that's how other people were. The other guys didn't really like me in a way because of what I was driving.
Yeah, it's kind of. I really didn't like. I don't want to say that, but they in a way they kind of were just kind of like, oh, but he drives a Maxima. I was like, fucking, what do you drive? It ain't the shit either. So.
Which, that car was like a car.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
It's okay now. I wish you kind of had a better paint color. If that's what you wanted, you know, it's whatever. But it looks clean. It's a big improvement from what you used to have, like how it looked like. And it's crazy how like a paint job and wheels changed the whole look. You know.
I didn't even know I could do that type of stuff to a car, honestly. And I would search up modifications on Google and all that for Maximas and all that. All I would ever see was just wheels, and there was just that one Maxima that was just there. I'm like, it looks ugly. I'm not gonna do shit to it. And then I started knowing, like, cause I wasn't really techy on phones and all that, so I started getting more on Instagram and all that. And I found out more about my car. I'm like, 6th gen Maxima, and then I searched it up. A whole bunch of cars pulled up. I'm like, my car can look like that? Should I do it? It's a lot of money. Screw it. So like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fuck the Porsche.
Yeah, it's like the Porsche just left my mind. I started working more on something I want to drive for a while. That's a daily. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fix it up and make it look decent. And it came out being what it is now. It's just.
I'll post a picture of it on the talk, like on the video, whatever, people can see it.
And honestly,
Big transformation.
not to brag, but it's the first Maxima I've seen here in Houston. The 6th gen Maxima I've seen in Houston clean. Not to brag, but after that, after I did the dip,
Oh, you gotta brag.
after you did the dip for me, I started seeing more cars, more 6th gen Maximas, but they're more towards a racing type.
Yeah.
But they look clean, right? So I'm like, I needed one up. I got the wheels. I got
Your mistake by not ordering the same wheels at the
yeah,
same time.
because
But at the end,
my stupid ass is like, I don't know nothing about wheel specs, so I'm gonna just buy these, test fit them, I like them, and just leave them on. So I bought 2 wheels. The color I really liked was black with the gold rivets, fake rivets, right? So like I like those.
ESRs, right?
Yeah,
You know the
ESR, SR, what is it? SR02.
the 5-spoke.
Yeah.
On direction, whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I like them. So I started going on Google and like searching them up on different cars. Like I like it. So I bought the black ones. I thought it would look better, kind of like a stealth theme to the car. But then they were sold out. after I bought the first two, I wanted to buy the other two, and I found out they were sold out. So they were back ordered, and I would have to wait about 2 months, I think, for the other ones to come back in because they were still being shipped. Like in the meantime, I have a guy because I do fences. Like me and my dad have a shop.
Oh yeah,
fencing.
Shout out your little company you got with your dad. If y'all need any help with that.
The company's name's JP and M Fences. We do burglar bars, carports,
Welding,
almost anything dealing with welding.
grills,
Yeah,
chairs, which some pretty cool chairs.
rocking chairs, kind of like Mexican type. And Salvadorian in the way también. They use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put the description of that thing. You have an Instagram, right?
I lost the count.
You lost an account.
Yeah.
But I still follow it.
Well, you could put it, but I forgot the username or the password.
You can just change the email.
I think I used mine.
Anyways, I'll help you with that later. But yeah, I'll put y'all's like description and stuff just in case people want to hit you up for doing any kind of like really anything welding.
Yeah. So from that side, I've known people that do powder coating. I've known two. I still do know two powder coating companies. One's like very close to us, kind of like basically friends with us. So they help us out with the powder coating. So like I'll just buy the simplest wheels that they have. So there were some silver wheels with just clear finish, kind of like I forgot what they call it. Machine finish.
Yeah, obviously
machine finish and just clear coat it. Like I could just have them burn that clear coat and just powder coat them the color of the wheels I originally want. I'm like, but once they arrive, they look way better in person than online. So I'm like, in my mind, I went back to a drifting world. I'm like, but people have two different colors in the back and two different colors in the front, but with livery and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's just plain. So I'm like, what if I do kind of like a two-faced car? One side blacked out and the other side kind of rice style.
Chromed out.
Yeah,
No, it's chromed out. Well, not chrome because it's machine finish, but
yeah, in a way kind of chrome because of the clear.
Yeah.
It looks kind of chromish. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy tires. I'll powder coat the wheels another day. And ever since those two colors grew in me, so I'm like, I'm gonna just leave it like this to see what people say.
people don't notice until like they
Until they're like, I've seen when I'm driving down the highway, I have to exit off the highway, and people on my right side, they look at the car, and they're shiny and everything. Like, oh, looks nice. I drive to the other side, they're like, they just keep on staring at me like, what the hell? Why is it two different colors, right?
Or like at meets,
Yeah, it's
you'll
like,
be like, hey, look at that car. You see a difference, and they'll be like, wait,
I don't
what?
see it.
Like what? Like I don't
yeah,
see it.
it completely throws them off. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I know everyone in the group personally like thought the black was like look really clean because they look really.
I like
clean.
the black way better than
For real?
the silver. Yeah,
But then the silver is like they make the car
it pops out.
Yeah,
It pops.
big time.
Yeah, so that's kind of one reason I kept it.
One of the things I've heard, which is pretty true, is that if anyone was to ever get black wheels, right? Don't go for some crazy looking like designs.
Cause it hides the design of the wheel.
It hides the design. So it's like if anyone like out there is out there trying to buy a black wheel, don't even worry about the design.
Don't matter how glossy they are.
Just get really into design because like when you're looking at them, even up close, you sometimes don't even see the actual design. But those like silver ones you have on the other side,
and it being it being the so simplest design made, they still look nice.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's kind of one reason I'm like.
And for some reason, your car looks dirty. I don't know why. Like that color just makes it look.
It's just the way, like, it's my driveway.
Yeah.
It's gravel, so we have
sucks.
wind. Yeah.
Everything else is.
It flies and it sticks to it.
You have that one piece of gravel.
Yeah, it's like it sticks to it. So people will be mad whenever you wash your car with the brush at the self car wash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but for me, it holds me. It actually cleans it. The dip, it doesn't scratch it. It's still good. So in a way,
It's
the
really
brush works
quick.
for me way better.
Yeah,
than
it's one of the
just-
benefits of having dip is that you can take it straight to the machine, and you're like no scratches, no nothing. Or
All you have to do is just clean out the windows. That's it.
I
or
got
whatever
I've been
paint you
actually,
have.
I've gotten hit pretty hard on my car when it used to be dipped, and
What happened to the paint? Nothing.
nothing. The paint was like the dip looked like it got damaged pretty bad, but the paint itself clean, like nothing happened.
And the dip hides some dents that your car has.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
sometimes.
Sometimes when when there's a lot, it'll show. But when it's like something real simple, it hides it.
Yeah.
Like cause I had.
Oh, you mean like the little rock chips?
No, it's like
The actual dents?
dents. Cause yeah, it had my door. You're able, cause of the glare, you were able to. I had a concrete. I had a
that's what you mean.
concrete truck. Put his tire on my door and it pushed it in. So I kind of took it out, but you were still able to see it clearly without the dip.
Dip.
Once we put the dip, it kind of went away. You're able to see it if you stare at it, but it goes away.
Yeah, well, I guess you can have a point there because like on my car, so when you have like just like a basic, just simple, I'm gonna say basic because it's just the one color, no gloss, no shine to the actual dip. You see the lines of the car a lot more because
The shadow it gives it.
yeah, that shadow it gives. There's no reflectiveness that kind of makes it look even. But I guess for those instances when you have a certain location where the bump is at, and you see a glare that makes it look like a bump, or you can see the indentation because of the glare, then yeah, that dip helps out. But if you have like I have a hit on top of the car, and with that dip,
Oh, okay.
you were able to see that dent even more.
Because yours is like completely. It was a tree, right? They
Yeah.
hit it. It completely dented it.
No, but like
Just
on
a
the
crater.
on the right side, on
Yeah.
the back. So you can see that one, but now without the dip, you're like, what are you talking about? I can't see anything.
Mhm.
But anyways, back to your car, how ugly it is.
I would say it is ugly,
It's ugly.
but it grew into me. It's like it's something people don't drive, don't see
It's
a lot.
cool. You look like when that one video that Adolfo recorded of you, like just like crazy swinging.
Yes.
I'm like, dang, that car looked nice.
Yeah. And just by driving around in the highway, someone records it. It looks way better on video than in person. Just the way of the wheel, because I have my right side is the silver, and the right side is the black.
Left.
Yeah,
Left side silver. Right.
it's right side.
Oh, right side.
My right side. So if I'm on the far left on the fast lane on the highway, if you record me, the wheels pop out and makes the car look clean.
Oh yeah.
So I like my right side for videos, but a person like my left side.
Yeah.
So kind of
It
relates.
I've only seen a couple Maximus too, like the 6th generation ones, and they look pretty okay. They have wheels, of course, or like they'll lower them and stuff. And then yeah, it looks pretty cool, but
Other people I've seen that lower them actually buy coilovers
or bags.
or bags, but I went springs because
They really didn't need to do much.
yeah,
Just
I'm
really-
like I just want a little bit drop. It doesn't. I still daily drive it. I had to go to places and all that. So like I'll just get springs. Spring rate, I really don't care. I'm just bouncing everywhere.
Those new 7th generation Maximas,
I like the way they look.
dude. Oh, I'm happy you didn't go like, hey, should I just buy the 7th gen Maxima and sell my or not worry about the Porsche? I was like, no, just fix the Porsche. Don't worry about buying a new car. But those 7th gen Maximas, they're fast. Like full bolt-ons, and I think like a simple tune or like
They can make 302 horsepower.
yeah.
I've seen it 302.
I've seen some cars that Trey, no one really knows him by his name. They know him by the pizza guy.
Pizza guy picks a car.
He had a video on his story about a 7th gen Maxima like gapping his 370Z. I was like, what? Like, what? How does that? And they're almost the same engine. It's just the way that they're mounted. Like they have almost like very similar. components.
Maximas, they're positioned sideways.
Mhm.
On 370s, 350s, they're positioned straight, so very easy to work on. But they have a different tone when they're sideways and straight.
Yeah.
But they're basically most of them or their VQs, they're pretty much the same thing. I don't get the difference between the VQ, the DE, or
Yeah, I really don't
HR.
know either.
So I'm like, it's the same thing. It's for me, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But for people actually into like that horsepower numbers and all that, will get the difference. But for me, it's like
But imagine that you have your family vehicle, sedan,
gapping
gapping a sports car.
considered a sports car.
Yeah, consider a sports car. You know, like that's some crazy stuff. Like if I saw that on the road, I'm like, this Maxima fixing to get gapped. I know here, you know, this Maxima put like a whole car linked on the 370, the 370.
Yeah, it's not even a bumper that gapping. It's like
It was a whole car.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, dang, should he actually get a 7G Maxima? I was like, nah, but he wouldn't want to do that to that car. I was like, fix a Porsche.
I was selling my car. It's still up for sale. Someone wants to buy it, but really don't want to sell it. I prefer to keep it as a daily for now while I fix the Porsche. But if someone comes in with a good chunk of change,
How much are you willing to sell it for, like right now? I know you'll probably do a higher number because you don't want to sell it in a way, but how much will be like a number right now people can give you?
with the wheels I have right now, the lowest I'll go is 4K.
Dang, you cheap bastard.
I'll go 4K, the cheapest. Without the wheels, I'll push 35.
30. Oh, okay. Okay. It's not bad.
It's cheap due to the miles it has.
It's how many miles it has?
275.
Yeah, it's pushing. But I have seen it. It's not just because I'm trying to help him out, but if he's basically done everything in the engine. So even though it has 270 in the odometer, I'm assuming it probably has like what 50,000 because of all the stuff you changed on it. Like no actual like rods and pistons and like that, but he's cleaned out a lot of things all the things that most BQs are known for going out, which is that gasket, right?
Yeah.
And all the seals, like
And the
clean.
difference is like I've seen other people do changes on VQs. Their oil comes out black. Mine stays the same color as I put it in. So like that's another thing that kind of good in a way. It's like it's healthy. It's a very healthy engine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, if anyone wants to buy, I'll put the pictures up. Wants to buy as ugly as a car for $4,000, you know, help build the Porsche 944. You can technically be a sponsor for that.
Yeah. In a way.
Yeah. So, but I guess we can end it like in a couple minutes. That way it doesn't get too long, and then I don't take 4 hours to try to upload a video. But you know, they're always pretty fun to have out here. I'm really thankful that you came out. The last two people that kind of were supposed to come out didn't really happen. For our next podcast, we're gonna have this. We're gonna probably have 2 or 3 like on comeback, like back to back in a way. The next one is not gonna be much car related, but it does like for anyone who's interested in more of the politics in Houston. This would be pretty interesting for someone to listen to. And then the next 2 that I have planned should be pretty cool to listen to too. More car related for sure. I'm gonna have a fuckboy come in here for sure. No, he's not fuckboy, just messing with him. But yeah. Thank you, Paul, for coming out. You know, taking some of your time away on a Sunday. This is when we recorded on Sunday. Doesn't have to be a Sunday, but I'm just saying. Thanks for coming out.
I appreciate it.
Giving us your talk on your 944 build. You're selling your ugly ass Maxima. If you have anything else, basically, you would like to, you know, promote or just say on your part before we end it, just go ahead.
I don't think I have anything to say.
Say your business. Hey man, give me a call, make some money.
Kind of already said it.
Say it again.
If y'all don't find on Instagram, the number is 832-618-6254. That's the business number for JP&M Fencing. Me and my dad do carports, fencing, burger bars, any type of structural with blueprints and all that. We're able to do it.
Yeah. Well, they do some pretty cool work. So I've seen them do movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like
the second store for the there's a very famous.
I pick whatever. Yeah, right.
No, it was
The Galleria. No, in the River Oaks.
there's one in Baybrook, the movie theater.
Anyways, but yeah, they do some really good work. Just hit them up if y'all need anything. It would be pretty cool. And thanks for watching again. And make sure to hit that subscribe and like button if y'all like this content. So, peace out, losers. Talking to my friends, right?